No Clean Clothes by Robert Munsch, illustrated by Michael Marchenko of Scholastic Books Canada. Copyright 2006. Lacey opened the top drawer of her dresser. No clean clothes. Lacey opened the middle drawer of her dresser. No clean clothes. Lacey opened the bottom drawer of her dresser. No clean clothes. Lacey looked all around her bedroom. No clean clothes. She ran downstairs and yelled, "Mom, Mom, Mom, why didn't you wash my clothes?" "Lacey," said her mother, "I'd wash your clothes if I could find your clothes. You hide them under your bed, you lend them to your friends, you leave them in the backyard. Sometimes I think you feed your underwear to the dog." "To the dog with his underwear?" "Mom's going to lose her pancakes in a minute." "Mom," said Lacey, "don't be silly. All I need is one shirt. Can't you find me just one clean shirt?" "Well," said her mom, "there is that nice shirt your grandma gave you for your birthday. You've never worn it." "That shirt is a strange grandma present," said Lacey. "When I was 3, Grandma gave me a shirt that said Snoogie Wookums, and everyone laughed at me. When I was 4, Grandma gave me a shirt that said Cutie Patootie, and everyone laughed at me. When I was 5, Grandma gave me a shirt that said Cuddly Wunkins, and everyone laughed at me. Now I'm 6, and Grandma gives me a shirt that says Kiss Me, I'm Perfect. I'm not wearing that shirt to school. Only Grandma would choose a shirt like that." "Now, Lacey," said her mom, "just wear it for this morning. I'll wash a shirt and bring it to school at recess." "Look at all the pancakes. Even the dog's going to get one." "You will wash it right away," said Lacey. "Yes," said Lacey's mom. "You'll not talk on the phone?" "No," said her mom. "You'll not wash the dishes?" "No," said her mom. "You will not go shopping on the way?" "No," said her mom. "You will not go to work and chop down a tree?" "No," said her mom. "Okay," said Lacey. "I'll be on the steps of the school at recess." Lacey put on the strange grandma shirt and walked down the road. A kitty cat looked up at her, read the shirt, and gave a kitty cat kiss on her ear. "Lick, lick, 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 lick." "Neat," said Lacey. "I got a kitty cat kiss. Maybe I'm going to like this shirt." She walked farther down the street and met a dog. The dog read Lacey's shirt and jumped up and gave her a doggy kiss on the ear. Slick, slick, slick. "Wow," said Lacey. "I got a kitty cat kiss and a doggy kiss. This is a wonderful shirt." Lacey walked farther down the street. An eagle flew in circles around her and landed on her head. It leaned down, read her shirt, and gave her an eagle kiss on the nose. Dink, dink, dink. Lacey yelled, "An eagle kiss, an eagle kiss. I got an eagle kiss. I love my grandma. I love this shirt." Lacey walked farther down the street and met a moose. The moose looked at Lacey, read her shirt, and gave her a large, wet moose kiss right up the front of her face and over the top of her head. "Fantastic," Lacey said. "I'm the first person ever to be kissed by a moose." When Lacey got to school, she ran inside and yelled, "Teacher, teacher, look, I got a kitty cat kiss, I got a doggy kiss, I got an eagle kiss, I got a moose kiss, all because of my wonderful grandma shirt." "Neat," said her teacher, "but maybe you should go and wash your hair. It's full of green moose slime." "Yuck," said Lacey. "Very gross." When Lacey came back to her desk, a boy named Johnny sat down beside her. He read the shirt and gave her a kiss. I said, "Yeah, Lacey, boy kisses." Ah! She ran back into the bathroom and washed her face until recess. Then she went back outside and got really lucky because she was kissed by a bear. When Lacey got home after school, her mother said, "I didn't see you at school. Did Grandma's shirt turn out to be okay?" "I love it," said Lacey. "And I called Grandma from the principal's office, and she's going to send everyone at school a strange grandma shirt." The next day, everybody had Kiss Me, I'm Perfect shirts. The end. No Clean Clothes by Robert Munsch. Show and Tell by Robert Munsch, illustrated by Michael Marchenko. Anik Press Limited. Copyright 1991. Benjamin wanted to take something really neat to school for show and tell, so he decided to take his new baby sister. He went upstairs, picked her up, and put her in his knapsack and walked off to school. But when Ben sat down, his baby sister finally woke up. She was not happy to be inside his knapsack and started to cry, "Wah, wah, 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 wah." The teacher looked at him and said, "Benjamin, stop making that noise." Ben said, "That's not me. It's my baby sister. She's in my backpack. I brought her for show and tell." "Yikes," said the teacher. "You can't keep a baby in a knapsack." She grabbed Ben's knapsack and opened it up. The baby looked at the teacher and said, "Wah, wah, 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 wah." "Don't worry," said the teacher. "I know how to take care of babies." She picked it up, rocked it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Unfortunately, her teacher was not the baby's mother, and she didn't rock quite right. The baby cried even louder. "Wah, wah, 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 wah." The principal came running in. He looked at the teacher and said, "Stop making that noise." The teacher said, "It's not me. It's Sharon, Ben's new baby sister. He brought her for show and tell, and she won't shut up." That's not very nice. The principal said, "Don't worry. I know how to make kids be quiet." He picked up the baby and yelled, "Hey, you, be quiet." And the baby did not like that at all. It screamed even louder. "Wah, wah, 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 wah." And the principal said, "What's the matter with this baby? It must be sick. I'll call a doctor." The doctor came with a big black bag. She looked in the baby's eyes and looked at the baby's ears, and she looked down the baby's mouth. She said, "Don't worry. I know what to do. This baby needs a needle." So the doctor opened her bag and got out a short needle and said, "Nah, too small." The doctor reached inside her bag and got out a longer needle and said, "Nah, too small." The doctor reached inside her bag and got out a really long needle and said, "Nah, too small." The doctor reached inside her bag and got out an enormous needle and said, "Just right. Look at the size of that needle. Look at the size of the baby. Yikes." When the baby saw the enormous needle and yelled as loud as he could, "Wah, wah, 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 wah." Ben said, "What's the matter with this school? Nobody knows what to do with a baby." He ran down to the principal's office, called his mother on the phone, and said, "Help, help, help. You have to come to school right away." The mother said, "Ben, your little sister is lost. I can't come to school. I have to find her." "She's not lost," said Ben. "I took her to school in my knapsack." "Oh, no," yelled the mother. She ran down the street, ran into school. The principal and the teacher and the doctor were standing around the baby, and the baby was yelling as loud as possible, "Wah, wah, 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 wah." The mother picked up the baby, rocked it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and the baby said, and went to sleep. "Oh, thank you, said the principal. "The baby was making so much noise, it was just making me feel sick." "Sick," said the doctor. "Sick? Did that man say he was sick? He must need a needle." So the doctor opened her bag and got out a short needle and said, "Nah, too small." The doctor reached into her bag and got out an even longer needle. "Nah, too small." The doctor reached into her bag and got out a really long needle and said, "Nah, too small." The doctor reached into her bag and got out an enormous needle and said, "Just right." The principal looked at the enormous needle and said, "Wah, wah, 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 wah," and ran out the door. "Now," said the mother, "it's time to take this baby home, right?" said Ben. "You can use my knapsack." "What a good idea," said the mother. Ben's in the knapsack, not the baby. Ben and his mother put the baby into bed. She went to sleep and didn't cry, not even once. Ben went back to school carrying some strange things for show and tell, and he wasn't out of place at all. Got a snake in the backpack and a curtain rod from the bathtub and some bagpipes. But everybody else had all these strange things too. The end. Boo by Robert Munsch, illustrated by Michael Marchenko. Scholastic Books Canada. Published in 2004. On Halloween, Lance went to his father and said, "This year, I'm not going to wear a mask. I'm going to go paint my face and make it very, very scary." "That's nice, Lance," said his father. "It's a lot less work for me. You go and paint your face." So Lance went to the bathroom and painted. Worms coming out of his hair, ants crawling on his cheeks, snakes coming out of his mouth. Then he went downstairs and walked up to behind his father and said, "Boo!" His father turned around and, "Yeah!" "Not scary enough," said Lance. "I wanted him to fall over." So Lance went back upstairs and painted green brains coming out the side of his head, one eye falling down over his face, an orange goop coming out of his nose. Then he went downstairs, walked up behind his father and said, "Boo!" And his father went, "Ah!" and fell right over. "Scary enough," said Lance. Then Lance put a pillowcase over his head, got another pillowcase for candy, and walked down the street. He went up to a house. Knock, knock, knock. A big man opened the door and said, "First kid for Halloween. So nice to see you. A little kid for Halloween." Lance lifted up his pillowcase and said, "Boo!" The man yelled, "Ah!" and fell over. But Lance wanted some candy, so he said very softly, "Trick or treat." Nothing happened. He said a little louder, "Trick or treat." Nothing happened. So Lance went inside, and there was an enormous table full of candy. He put it all in his bag. Thump. Then, even though his bag was very heavy, he walked down the street and went to another house. Knock, knock, knock. The lady opened the door and said, "First kid for Halloween. So nice to see a little kid for Halloween." Lance lifted up the pillowcase and said, "Boo!" And the lady yelled, "Ah!" and fell right over. But Lance wanted some candy, so he said very softly, "Trick or treat." Nothing happened. He said a little louder, "Trick or treat." Nothing happened. So Lance went inside, and there was an enormous table full of candy. He put it all in his bag. Thump. Then Lance went into the kitchen, opened up the refrigerator. He took out 10 boxes of ice cream, 20 cans of ginger ale, 3 watermelons, 10 frozen pizzas, and a turkey. Lance dragged the pillowcase across the porch and fell down the stairs and landed in the middle of the street. A police car came by. The policeman jumped out, looked at Lance and said, "Kid, what's the matter with you? You can't sit in the middle of the street. Take your candy and go home." "Look," said Lance, "my bag's so heavy I can't even move. I live right down the street. Please carry my bag home." "Well, all right," said the policeman. "I'll take your bag of candy to your house." "Whoa, it's a heavy bag of candy." The policeman dragged the bag down the street, put it in Lance's front porch, and said, "Kid, you must have gone to 2,000 houses to get this much candy." "No," said Lance, "just 2. "Wait a minute," said the policeman. "How did you get so much candy at just 2 houses?" "Well," said Lance, "my face is so scary. When people see it, they fall over, and I take all the candy in the house." Said the policeman. "I'm a cop. You can't scare me. I want to see your face." "Okay," said Lance. He lifted up his pillowcase and said, "Boo!" The policeman said, "Oh, if you think I'm going to fall over just because of face like that, you're wrong. I'm going to run away." And he jumped into his car and he drove away really fast. Zoom. Then Lance went inside and started to eat his first chocolate bar. There was a knock at the door. Lance opened it, and there was a teenager. The kind of kid who is much too old to go out for Halloween, and still goes out anyway. He had a pillowcase over his head and a bag full of candy, much bigger than Lance's. "Wow," said Lance, "you must have gone to 5,000 houses to get so much candy." "No," said the teenager, "just 5. "How did you get so much candy at just 5 houses?" said Lance. The teenager says, "My face is so scary that when people see it, they fall over, and I take all the candy in the house. And now I'm going to scare you and take all the candy in your house." "Maybe not," said Lance. "I want to see your face." "Okay," said the teenager. He lifted up his pillowcase and yelled, "Boo!" He had worms coming out of his hair, butterflies coming out of his nose, ants coming out of his mouth. He was scary, but not nearly as scary as Lance. "Nice try," said Lance. He lifted his pillowcase and said, "Boo!" The teenager yelled, "Ah!" dropped his bag of candy and ran down the street. Lance took the teenager's bag of candy and dragged it into the house. His candy lasted a long time. Every day Lance ate as much as he could. He ate candy for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He ate candy in the middle of the night, but his candy still lasted until next Halloween. The end.